Exodus 29, Aaron and his sons consecrated. And this is what you shall do to them to hallow them for ministering to me as priests. Take 1 young bull and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread, unleavened cakes mixed with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil. You shall make them of wheat flour. You shall put them in 1 basket and bring them in the basket with the bull and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons shall bring to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and you shall wash them with water. Then you shall take the garments and put the tunics on Aaron, and the robe of the ephod, and the ephod with the breastplate, and gird him with the interactively woven band of ephod. Verse 6, you shall put the turban on his head and put the holy crown on the turban. You shall take the anointing oil, pour it on his head, and anoint him. Then you shall bring his sons and put tunic on them. You shall gird them with sashes, Aaron and his sons, and put the hats on them. The priesthood shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, so that you shall consecrate Aaron and his sons. Verse 10, you shall also have the bull brought before the tabernacle of meeting, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands on the head of the bull. Then you shall kill the bull before the Lord by the door of the tabernacle of meeting. You shall take some of the blood of the bull and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour all the blood beside the base of the altar. And you shall take all the fat that covers the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, and burn them on the altar. But the flesh of the bull with its skin and its offal you shall burn with the fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering. You shall also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands on the head of the ram. And you shall kill the ram, and you shall take its blood and sprinkle it all around on the altar. Then you shall cut the ram in pieces, wash its entrails and its legs, and put them with the pieces and with its head. Verse 18, you shall burn the whole ram on the altar, for it is a burnt offering to the Lord. It is a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. Verse 19, you shall also take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands on the head of the ram. Then you shall kill the ram, and take some of the blood and put it on the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and on the tip of the right ear of his sons, on the thumb of their right hand, on the big toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood all around on the altar. And you shall take some of the blood that is on the altar and some of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it on Aaron and his garment, on his sons, and on the garments of his sons with him, and he and his garments shall be hallowed, and his sons' garments with him. Also you shall take the fat of the ram and fat tail, and the fat that covers the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, the 2 kidneys, and the fat on them, the right thigh for its ram of consecration. 1 loaf of bread, 1 cake made with oil, and 1 wafer from the basket of the unleavened bread that is before the Lord. And you shall put all these in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and you shall wave them as a wave offering before the Lord. You shall receive them back from your hands and Burn them on the altar of burnt offerings, and a sweet aroma before the Lord is an offering made by fire to the Lord. Verse 26. Then you shall take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration and wave it as a wave offering before the Lord. It shall be your portion. Verse 27. And from the ram of consecration you shall sanctify the breast of the wave offering which is waved, and the thigh of the heave offering which is raised, of that which is from Aaron, and that from which is from for his sons. Verse 28. It shall be from the children of Israel for Aaron and his sons by a statute forever, for it is a heave offering. It shall be a heave offering from the children of Israel, from the sacrifice of their peace offerings, that is their heave offering to the Lord. Verse 29. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed in them and to be consecrated in them, that sons who become priests in this place shall put them in for 7 days when he enters the tabernacle of meeting to minister in the holy place. Verse 31. And you shall take the ram of the consecration and boil its flesh in the holy place. Verse 32. Then Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram, the bread that is in the basket of the door and tabernacle of meeting. They shall eat those things with which the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them. But a stranger shall not eat them, because they are holy. Verse 34. And if any of the flesh of the consecration offerings or the bread remains until the morning, then you shall burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. Verse 35. Thus you shall do to Aaron and his sons according to all that I have commanded you. 7 days you shall consecrate them, and you shall offer a bull every day as a sin offering for atonement. You shall cleanse the altar when you make atonement for it, and you shall anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days you shall make atonement for the altar and sanctify it, and the altar shall be most holy. Whatever touches the altar must be holy. Verse 38. The daily offerings. Now this is what you shall offer on the altar: 2 lambs of the first year, day by day, continually. 1 lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at night, at twilight. With the 1 lamb you shall be 1/10 of an ephod of flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of pressed oil and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. And the other lamb you shall offer at twilight, and you shall offer it with the grain offering and the drink offering, as in the morning, for a sweet aroma of offering made by the fire to the Lord. Verse 42. This shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations, at the door of the tabernacle of meeting before the Lord, where I will meet you to speak with you. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. So it will be sanctified, the tabernacle of meeting, and the altar will also sanctify both Aaron and his sons to minister to me as priests. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will be their God. And they shall know that I am the Lord their God, who brought them up out of the land of Egypt, that I may dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. End of chapter 29. And again, we see a lot of stuff that does not seem to make a whole lot of sense to us today, Perhaps things were a whole lot different back then. And we saw several places in chapter 29 where God said this is a sin offering. And God is deadly serious about the sins that we do. And he tells us that it can cost us an awful lot when we sin. And perhaps the children of Israel are having to give up their possessions of the animals, because back then that's what they had. They didn't have money and cars and cell phones and so forth that we have today. They had animals, and they were very precious to them. And God was forcing them to sacrifice them to him for their sins. That does make a lot of sense. Chapter 30, the altar of incense. You shall make an altar to burn incense on. You shall make it of acra wood. A cubit shall be its length, a cubit its width, and it shall be square. And 2 cubits shall be its height. Its horn shall be of 1 piece with it. And you shall overlay its top, its sides, all around, and its horns with pure gold. And you shall make it for a molding of gold all around. Verse 4. 2 rings you shall make it for under the molding on both its sides. You shall place them on its 2 sides, and they will be holders for the poles which to bear it. You shall make the poles of acra wood and overlay them with gold. And you shall put it before the veil that is before the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat, and over the testimony where I will meet with you. Verse 7. Aaron shall burn on it sweet incense every morning. When he tends the lamps, he shall burn incense on it. And when Aaron lights the lamps at twilight, he shall burn incense on it, a perpetual incense before the Lord throughout your generations. You shall not offer strange incense on it, or a burnt offering, or a meal offering, nor shall you pour a drink offering on it. Verse 10. And Aaron shall make atonement upon it, its horns once a year, with the blood of the sin offering of atonement. Once a year you shall make an atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy to the Lord. Verse 11. The ransom money. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, when you take the census of the children of Israel for their number, then every man shall give a ransom for himself to the Lord. When you number them, that there may be no plague among them when you number them. This is what everyone among you who are numbered shall give, half a shekel according to the shekel of the sanctuary. Shekel and 20 geriths, the half shekel shall be an offering to the Lord. Everyone included among those who are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering to the Lord. The rich shall not give more than the poor, shall not give less than a shekel. Then you give an offering to the Lord to make atonement for yourselves. And you shall take an atonement money for the children of Israel, and you shall appoint it for service of tabernacle of meetings, that may be a memorial to the children of Israel before the Lord, to make atonement for yourselves. Verse 17. The bronze laver. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, you shall also make a laver of bronze with its base, also of bronze for washing. You shall put it between the tabernacle of the meeting of the altar, and you shall put water in it. For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet in water from it. Verse 20. When they go into the tabernacle of meeting, or when they come near the altar to minister, to burn an offering made by fire to the Lord. They shall wash their with water, lest they die. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, lest they die, and they shall be a statute. It shall be a statute forever to them and their descendants throughout their generations. Verse 22, the holy anointing oil. Moreover, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, also take for yourselves equal spice, 500 shekels of liquid myrrh, half of much sweet-smelling cinnamon, 250 shekels, 250 shekels of sweet-smelling cane, 500 shekels of cassia, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, and hin of olive oil. And you shall make from these holy anointing oil and ointment compounds, according to the art of the perfumer. It shall be a holy anointing oil. Verse 26, with it you shall anoint the tabernacle of meeting and the ark of the testimony, the table and all its utensils, the lampstand and its utensils, and the altar of the incense. Verse 28, the altar of the burnt offerings with its utensils, and the laver and its base. You shall sanctify them, that they may be most holy. Whatever touches them must be holy. And you shall anoint Aaron and his sons, and sanctify them, that they may minister to me as priests. And you shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, this shall be a holy anointing oil to me throughout your generations. It shall not be poured on man's flesh, nor shall you make any other like it, according to its composition. It is holy, and it shall be holy to you. Verse 33, whoever compounds any like it, or whoever puts any of it on an outsider, shall be cut off from his people. Verse 34, the incense. And the Lord said to Moses, take sweet spices, stachet, and onycha, and galbeth, and pure frankincense. With these sweet spices there shall be equal amounts of each. You shall make of these an incense of compound according to the art of the perfumer, salted, pure, and holy. Verse 36, and you shall beat some of it very fine, and put some of it before the testimony of the tabernacle of meeting, where I will meet with you. It shall be most holy to you. But as for the incense which you shall make, you shall not make any for yourselves according to its composition. It shall be to you holy to the Lord. Whoever makes any like it to smell it shall be cut off from his people. End of chapter 30.